Welcome to the Slow Way podcast, a space where we explore slowing down, finding presence, and living intentionally. I'm Shruti, a holistic life coach and a yoga instructor, and my purpose is to help you clear out blocks that are keeping you from showing up as your best possible self. Together, we will learn to hold space for each other as we navigate through life and explore the depths of what it means to be human. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Slow Way. This is your space to pause, reflect, and gently return to the heart of what truly matters. Not the loudest voices, not the fastest answers, but the slow truth that lives beneath all of it. Today's episode is called Between Retaliation and Resolution. And if you're here because something feels conflicted inside you, something about justice or boundaries or how to respond when you've been hurt, then you're exactly in the right place. So grab a cup of tea and let's get into it. Whether to choose retaliation or to choose resolution. What a conundrum this is, and one that we all wrestle with time to time, especially when someone or something threatens us or threatens the people we love. There's this strong urge to retaliate, and it comes fast, it comes strong, and it's almost instinctual, and it feels right. And sometimes it is right. Standing up for ourselves isn't just important, it's necessary. But what happens when retaliations stops being a form of protection and starts being a cycle that we can't get out of? What happens when our response to harm begins to mirror the very thing that harmed us? And we all are wired to protect what we love. And when protection feels impossible, we fight. We fight with our words, we fight with our actions, with our silence, and sometimes withdrawal. And sometimes retaliation gives us that quick sense of control that, hey, you know what? I'm not helpless. I'm not weak. And you don't get to hurt me and walk away untouched. No, that's not happening. So here I am creating that boundary, which never existed. And that boundary, that line tells the world that, hey, here's a line which cannot be crossed. And there must be a line, especially when harm is repeated, especially when silence would only invite more damage. So, retaliation in those cases can feel like reclaiming your dignity. And we should certainly honor that because there are moments when not reacting would be such a betrayal of self and betrayal of our own pain. But here's the catch. If we are not careful, retaliation can become something else very quickly. It can become a reflex. It can become our pattern, a way of staying bound in a way to what hurt us. So in our head, we're justifying it by saying, hey, you know what? I'm breaking free by retaliating, when actually you're staying tethered to the hurt. Because the more we react from pain, the more we feed the pain, and not just in others, but in ourselves. And slowly, retaliation stops being about justice and starts becoming about power, about control, about making someone else feel what we felt. It's a very seductive place to be because it feels strong. It feels like you have a sense of control, but it's a strength that is borrowed from suffering. And a borrowed strength doesn't last. Now, let's talk about the other side, the resolution side, about choosing peace. Not the peace that comes from ignoring problems. And let's be clear, resolution does not mean being passive. I'm not talking about the peace that comes from shrinking ourselves. I'm talking about the peace that says, I see what's happened. I acknowledge the wound and I choose to end the cycle. And that kind of peace is very fierce. It takes more strength to stop the fire than to throw another log into it. It's very easy to just keep feeding the fire. And let's be honest, peace isn't always satisfying at first. It doesn't give you that thrill of retaliation, it doesn't promise revenge or righteousness. Instead, it gives us space, it gives us quiet, it gives us healing. And sometimes that doesn't feel like enough, especially if we're still hurting. I think choosing peace can almost feel like you're betraying yourself. And I think the hardest part in all of this is the space in between. The space in between retaliation and resolution. It's in between the anger that feels righteous and the longing for peace, which just feels too far fetched. And there are many of us in that space. We all know it. And I want to say being in that space doesn't mean that we are indecisive. It just means that we are human. It means that we are wrestling with how to stay true to ourselves without becoming what hurt us to begin with. And that is sacred work. It takes a lot. There is no perfect answer to this. There is only a slow return for us to start asking ourselves better questions. Questions like, what would justice look like if it wasn't shaped by pain? What would resolution look like if it did not require forgetting? And what does strength look like when it's rooted in wholeness and not reaction? So, if you are finding yourself in this in between space today, between wanting to fight and wanting to forgive, between this need to protect and also longing for peace, you're not alone. I'm right here with you. That's exactly the space I'm in. And we're not weak. I think we are someone who's trying to walk this thoughtful path. And the way we choose that path is we're trying to choose a path that breaks the cycle rather than repeats the cycle. And there's nothing soft about that choice. It's actually the quietest form of courage. I hope that this resonates with you, and I appreciate you being here with me so much. And thank you for walking this with me, because I've been feeling a lot of big emotions between both these very strong spaces and feelings. But you know what? I really wish and pray that we all find our way back to ourselves. Gently, bravely, slowly. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.